Maggie, para ti, ¿qué es el amor? ¿Qué es el amor, Maggie? So what does it mean for you exactly to be in love with someone? Para ti, ¿qué significa esa palabra?
Like, how do I?
Like, how would you if you were like to try to define it in a descriptive way? What would you say?
All right, this is exactly why I don't write love stories. Right. So I don't I have to describe it. I would say it's like being with someone and you feel like you belong. You feel like you're right where you should be. And me, as for me, it's something that I never really felt like in my life, because I always wanted to, I always had this dream of running away, doing adventures, being on the run all the time. And in my head, there was not a place that I could really call home, because I was in France, but then I wanted to go somewhere else, and then I was somewhere else, and then I wanted to go somewhere else, and I was always on the run, always doing crazy stuff. And now I'm just starting to realize that maybe home is it's really Pinterest of me to say that, but it's just realizing that home might just be someone. And for me, it's just the feeling of belonging somewhere, and I really I can really see it because I never felt like that before.
Gotcha. That's actually beautiful. Yeah, the sense of that belonging is that person. So that person makes you belong.
Yeah.
Like nothing that no other place made you feel before, no?
Yeah, and I also think love can be a lot of things. It can go through a lot of stages. You can feel a lot of different things, and sometimes you can doubt. You can be am I really in love? What does that even mean? Especially for me, because I read a lot, and people who write the words to describe love, they're just so freaking beautiful, and you're how can someone write that? How is it even real? And why am I feeling different? Why is it not the way it is in books? Why is it not like that?
Exactly.
And then I think we just all have our own definition of love. For people, some people, love is a safe place, it's feeling safe. For some people, it's more something adventurous, something dangerous. I don't really know. For me, it's just feeling I belong. Claro. And it's just, it's really weird, actually.
Muy buena esa, sí, sí. El sentimiento de crecer. Sí, el amor para mí es, al final tú decides compartir tu vida con alguien porque te aporta algo. To me, for me, being in love with someone and willingly sharing your life with that other person, because it adds up. It adds up to your life. Somehow, it could be anything. It could be, it gives you that little spark that doesn't come out on its own, by yourself. That person makes that spark, light up. For some reason. So for me, it needs to add up. But the thing with toxic relationships, going back to the topic, is I think toxic relationships begin appearing because people become, cling too much on the idea of that, the beginning of that relationship. They think that person is the person that they idealize, that they romanticize about.
Have a lot of expectations.
And then they want to cling on to that idea, but they don't accept that person is not what they were thinking at the beginning. So they that's why I think that's why when you're in a toxic relationship, you convince yourself that person is doing it for your own good, that person is trying to change you because you should change, those types of things. That's why you start justifying, Estás justificando las cosas que a lo mejor no deberías justificar en una situación normal, in a regular situation, ¿no? Pero no sé.
I think that you can also really feel if I'm not in that relationship anymore, what am I worth, and who is ever gonna love me again? Am I even lovable? Because
claro.
For some people, I'm really grateful for my mom for having taught me some stuff, and immediate red flags in people, whether it's friends, whether it's love interests or anything. But it's with me, I tend to feel worthless sometimes, and I'll just be I have accomplished nothing and I overthink a lot about it, and like sometimes to feel good you just like depend on the person.
Yes.
And that's I think also like a problem, because
could be, yes.
Like I've seen a lot of my friends who had like a very low self-confidence, and that toxic person they were totally toxic, but they were like, I love you, you're beautiful, and beside that they were doing stuff that were for me like instant no, like ghosting, right? Or you shouldn't do that.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and my mom, like, she really, because my mom is really, it's my mom, she's like, he does that once, I'm out. And like that's something that I tend to do too now, like in someone.
The moment you see something you don't like, you go, okay, that I already know what I need to know, no?
Yeah, like that's something I'm grateful for my mom.
I see.
Mom, I love you, my first love.
¿Cómo se llama tu madre?
Katy. Catherine.
Katy, la has educado bien a tu niña.
Wait, can I translate that?
Sí, ya, díselo a esta cámara, esa es tu cámara.
Elle a dit que tu m'avais très bien éduquée. Merci.
Ahí lo tienes, Katy. Tu querida niña está bien educada aquí en España. Cuidamos de ella. Y oye, y Jania, going to the changing thing, I want to say, what do you think about the need to change the other partner? Do you really need to change somebody else if you want to be with that person in an extended relationship?
I think you actually never can change a person. Only one person feels that he needs to change for themselves, for himself or herself. It's the only way, like, how the person can change. I truly believe. I think
Yeah, sure.
But you know, when like people like say, when their partner says, oh, like, I don't know, you have to go to gym, or like you fat, or you have to learn another language, or why you don't do anything. Or actually, the person is dealing with his or her own problems and feelings. And it's like, it's a mirror, like, no, like, don't take it personally, never. And there is also, I heard like one day, there is like a super nice quote that it's, you will never be good enough for the wrong person. And it's like,
that's deep.
Like
Oh, I like that. You're never gonna be good enough with the wrong person.
Yeah, like it's not about like that you're like, I'm bad at this, I'm bad. No, you're just like not for this person. You're not like, don't take it personally, because we tend to think like, oh no, that's problem in me probably. Oh, like, oh yes, maybe I'm fat. Oh, I have to learn this language or whatever. I have to go to work. No, like look at the person first of all, and like usually this person has this problem, and like he's dealing inside with this kind of thing, and like, first of all, this is your problem. Don't put it on me, because I never had this insecurity before. I had it 100 times in a relationship, and I was so annoyed because I feel like sorry for myself, because I always took it super personally. Like I became like insecure, like with a low confidence. But in real, the guy had like this fucking low confidence in himself.
He was like a mirror.
He always wanted like to put on me. And at one point I was like, for what are you doing this? Like, I'm okay with myself, you know? I don't have any problems. Like, dude, you have problems? Go to a psychologist or whatever. I have mine. I'm working on it. I'm good.
And what was the trigger? What was the trigger to make you realize that? You know what I'm saying? Like,
because it was too much.
It was too much.
It was always, and it's like I always wanted like to explain, because I'm very like, I'm trying to be patient. I was trying to explain, look, this is not nice like to say like this. I have my boundaries, like you should respect. If I want advice, I will ask. I never say I accept you the way you are. If you don't, we separate. So how like, because you cannot change me. Like I will not be this one like which you have in your head, and